Well, it says it's live, but this will not last long. My internet's being a bitch again. Says I've got one bar of internet. Woot woot. Look at me, big pimpin', got so much internet. Of course, on top of that, I had a massive headache, so I went inside and took some ibuprofen and passed out on the floor. And when I woke up, I totally realized I left my laptop outside. So, my laptop's at 30 some degrees. And apparently, it kind of seems like every time my computer gets cold is when my internet stops working. I kind of have the feeling that it's not my internet that's causing the problem, and it's more my laptop that's having problems that's causing the internet to keep crashing on the laptop, because this laptop is cheap. It was $150 for this laptop. I got it for free, so I can't complain. My buddy was looking for a cheap, good laptop, and for what he needed, this laptop was perfect for him. But it was not something I would have picked for myself. And are you there, Holly? It says there's nobody watching, but you just commented and said hello. So I'm quite confused how that worked out. But could also just be my damn internet being stupid. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Probably not going to last long. Probably only got a couple more minutes left. I was surprised last night worked for... Yeah, literally, Holly, my stream says nobody's watching. So I'm glad you're here, but apparently my stream says that you're not important enough to register as being here. Fuck me. God damn it. Oh, it came back. I lost it, and then it came back. Still just means it's not going to work. If I get $1,200 in my stimulus check, which I'm sure won't be $1,200 because of the fact if I didn't file or wouldn't file taxes. If I get anything close to $1,200, I will willingly spend $300 of that to buy a new laptop, because I will guarantee that with a new laptop, I not only will produce better streams because the camera will actually be of good quality, but that it will also connect to the internet better, because cheap laptop is about 6 years old now. So, it's really outdated in the comparison of how computers work. And then maybe I can actually not worry about stream crashing all the time. I was actually extremely impressed right there that it crashed, but then came right back, because normally when my laptop crashes, the internet, it just goes away and never comes back. So I guess we got it for a couple more minutes. So pretty much this video is just I'm sorry guys, I still would be live streaming, same time, same amount, same time frame, same amount of time of 2 hours, but because of my shit ass computer, I can no longer do that. It would also work if Ohio would stop getting cold, because if you remember, when I started live streaming, Ohio was warming up and I had no problem. This all started happening the moment that Ohio got computer gets cold, the Wi-Fi connector thing inside the laptop stops working. 16, and I'm not even joking here, 16 states from the computer, and there it crashed again. 4 minutes. We made 4 minutes. Says it's connected. Okay, here we are. We're back again. Man, I'm a little surprised / impressed that it keeps crashing, but it says it comes back. Who knows if it's really working or if it's just lying to me, but either way, until it crashes completely, I'm going to sit here and continue to talk for as long as I can, I guess. But 16 gigabytes of internal memory, and Windows updates being like a gig to 2 gigs just for the fucking computer system to update. It filled up that 16 gigs in literally about a month, And because of that, now I have this laptop that literally is perfect for the internet. Like, if you're just going to use this computer for watching YouTube, which is exactly what I use it for, then it's perfect fine. But good luck trying to do anything with it. I can't even, excuse me, I can't even edit a video on this computer because I can't transfer the video from a memory card to the computer because it has no space. Computer, it runs slow because it's obviously maxed out on space. And since it's a laptop, unless you tear the whole damn thing apart and try to install your own, you know, shit, it's just not going to work. It's got no internal memory. And gamer, I always tried to buy gaming laptops, and I sucked at it. And I was never good at getting a real computer until I finally said, "Fuck laptops! I'm going to buy a gaming tower." And a desktop computer, and once I bought my gaming desktop computer, I've had zero issues with that thing. I can't really say that. Actually, when I bought it, when it showed up in my house, it was broken out of the box. So I had a $1,500 desktop computer, got shipped through the mail, and people mistreated the piss out of it. So when I sent it back for them to fix it, when they received it, they decided to do first class mail to ship it back to me. So that way it would break a second time, and when I got it back, it worked perfectly fine, and it's worked fine to this day. There's one other time I've had issues with my memory card crashing on me, but that's only because the graphics card is it's a Radeon 560, I think it is. Could be wrong on that, but either way, it's a decent graphics card. But realistically, compared to what everybody rocks nowadays, it's also outdated. Still enough to play video games. I mean, I can still play the latest Call of Duties on it and still have it run perfectly fine. It's just not the most powerful anymore because it itself is also like 3 or 4 years old at this point. So but I just need a better laptop, one that I can carry around, has sufficient internal memory that would allow me to edit my videos on my computer wherever I travel, have internet that's connected and works all the time. It doesn't crash, it doesn't, and has a good camera. So when I live stream, it looks better. Now, because of the compression ratio of YouTube, which if you have no idea what that is, then I'm sorry, but I wish I could show you how shitty it looks for me. Like, you can see my face and everything, that's fine, but everything in the background, like the wood beams and those pieces of white sheeting right there, it's all pixelated, like beyond pixelated. What I'm looking at is probably like 160p. It looks like complete and utter dog shit, and that's why I was even a little worried about the first couple times we were streaming that it looked like that for you guys. But like I said, because YouTube has this thing called a compression ratio, they will compress the videos to take up less space because you obviously store it on their servers, and due to that, it actually changes the quality of every video. So even though it's really shitty quality for me, and what I see, it looks like it's a really shitty video. If I bring the stream up on my phone, it looks like it's 720, at least 720p. Some people probably are watching it in 1080p. It looks just fine. I'm not saying it looks amazing, but it looks fine enough where it's like, yeah, I can sit here and watch this. It's not a big deal. But if you guys saw the quality of what the screen that it shows me of me talking to myself here, you would not, because it looks like dog shit. And that's why I was worried, because I was like, I ain't nobody going to watch a stream that looks like this. But then, like I said, it lucked out that it doesn't look like this. But I've already kind of looked around. See, it sucks because you could buy like a really powerful computer. You can get like gaming computers that were good like 2 or 3 years ago that would be perfect for editing and live streaming and stuff like that are refurbished. But the problem is with refurbished, it's like, so for instance, say that a company obtains a computer and it's got a broken motherboard. So what they do is they take everything out and they put the new motherboard in and put everything back into it and then sell it back as refurbished. The problem with this is the only thing replaced was the motherboard. So even though you're buying a computer that has a brand new motherboard, the hard drive, the graphics card, the CPU, the internal memory, which is a DDR, if you know what that is, all of that's still stock. Like all that's still what it was. So when you buy something refurbished, you're technically buying a computer that's old, has old pre-used parts in it, but something in there is brand new. And so that's my problem, because then you can, yeah, sure, you can get what used to be an $800 laptop, you can now get for $200. But the reason you're doing that is because you're really only paying for that new part they just put in, and you have just as much chance of getting it in your possession and then having it break one of the other things that wasn't replaced. When it comes to a tower computer, if something were to break on a tower desktop computer, like my gaming computer, I could replace it. I know what I'm doing with computers enough and trust myself enough to know what I'm doing, to the point where if something broke, I would know how to take it apart and replace it, and everything would be good. But a laptop, everything's much smaller and everything's much more compressed inside the computer, to the point where pretty much if you take a laptop apart, in my experience, when you take a laptop apart to work on it, it never goes back together right. And so it would be much harder for me to replace a part that went bad in a laptop in comparison to a desktop. But I'm not also trying to carry a desktop around everywhere I go. I thought about it. I have a whole bunch of old tower computers that are sitting up there in my electronic section, and I have a whole bunch of old towers that I tore apart and put inside of my house, like all the parts I have in a box in my house. And I thought about the fact I could probably build a tower PC with the parts I have. Wouldn't be nothing amazing. It would be very mediocre, but it would definitely work enough where I could post it up out in the garage, still get internet on it, still watch YouTube on it, still be able to live stream. We'll just have to get a webcam and all that other stuff. But I like a laptop because you can carry it around, technically I wouldn't have to get rid of this laptop even if I got a tower out here. But, for the instance of I decide to start tinkering on things in my garage here in the future, once I took another big step today. What I did and how I did it was, when I cleaned the garage, I cleaned everything out of the garage that I didn't want. That was the main key. Take everything out of here. Anything that's trash, throw it away. Anything that you maybe kept because you at one time were like, oh, I could probably use this for this, or I could use this for this. If I really don't see myself using it, it got thrown away. Fuck it. I don't need it. Just get rid of it. So that led me to keeping all the stuff that I actually wanted. So the stuff that I wanted and that I felt like was worthy enough to keep, I placed it against this far wall, which you can see that back wall back there. That's where my dad's stuff is. And my stuff I put up against this far other wall. But the problem is by the time I cleaned out the garage and I had all this big empty space, I had this massive mound of stuff that I had piled up against this wall that inevitably needed cleaned. And I knew it needed cleaned, but it was just the fact that once I got in the garage cleaned out, I was just kind of got lazy / depressed enough where I was like, I'm kind of sick of cleaning. I'm just going to sit on my ass for a couple of days. And I did. But then today I finally decided that, the best way to get over depression or thinking about how shitty life can be at this point in time is to get off my ass and actually clean things up again. So I started going through it. Now, most of the stuff that I set off the side were tools and wood and pieces of metal I used for forging and this and that. So now it's just a matter of actually organizing it all. So that's where I'm at. Once I finish the organizing, I've got 2 tables to build, which won't be hard to build. I already have the idea in my head of how I want to build them. I've got one in front of me. It is a bit messy, so I do warn you a little bit, but It's got The Hobbit playing on the TV because I had this old VCR right here that was my grandpa's. And so I put this VCR. It's just it has issues, and um, so I just kind of set it up so while I'm sitting back here and I'm working, cleaning out the garage and stuff like that, I can turn a movie on instead of YouTube, and then I can just clean while the movie's playing. Now, as you're like my mom, you're probably like, well, isn't it kind of hard to watch a movie and clean at the same time? In which I would admit, yes, you are correct. It would be a little difficult, but these are all movies I've seen 100 million times already. So to not actually see them is not really a big deal. I can hear them playing in the background and still know what's happening in the movie because I've seen them 100 million times, like Jurassic Park movies or the Lord of the Ring movies and Die Hard and Planet of the Apes and Harry Potter and Dogma and Indian in a Cupboard and Pearl Harbor. I mean, just all these movies that I've literally seen 1,000 times that you don't need to see to know what's going on if you can hear what's going on. So I pretty much clean, list the movies while imagining what's going on in my head because I've already seen it. Now I will admit that like while I've watched the 3 Hobbit movies. They were all on DVD. I brought the DVDs from inside my house out here, and then the last 2 days I've watched the 3 Hobbit movies. But I did stop from time to time to watch specific scenes, like the big war battles and stuff like that, because I fucking like it. But that's kind of like the point of what I'm doing out here. If I'm cleaning and I don't bother sitting down smoking a cigarette while watching 10, 15 minutes of this movie before getting back up and continue cleaning. But I'm pretty much sorting all the tools out. I have this little section over here that's still got a bunch of shit laying on the floor, but compared to the massive heap that it was, it's only about this thick worth of shit that's just laying on the floor that I need to finish cleaning off. Once I do that, I'm going to stick a pallet on the floor, building a table over top of the pallet, and then all my wood, because all my wood pieces I keep, because I like projects, I like to build things and stuff like that, so I have a lot of wood, but I need somewhere to store this wood because I put it in the piles and it inevitably gets, sorted through and wood moves all over the place. Next thing you know, I've got wood spread all about the garage. So with putting a pallet on the ground, I can then place all of my wood onto the pallet. Obviously, eventually I will go through all the wood to do a new project, but instead of tearing it all apart and leaving it all across the garage, I can sort through what I need and leave the rest of it on the pallet. And then the table on top of it's just pretty much going to be another, work table. And then I have 2 filing cabinets to the right of where the small table is going to go. And one's a little bit taller than the other one. So the table I have a pallet that I put a bench press, a drill press on. I have a sander on it. I have a grinding wheel. I have like just shop tools, I've stacked all of them up on top of this pallet that I made into like a makeshift table, and it's sitting on top of the filing cabinets. But the problem is since the filing cabinets are technically one's just this much taller than the other one, the table sits like this, and the filing cabinets are full of all my forging tools. So realistically, the filing cabinets weigh like 5,000 pounds, and it'd be any good luck to try to move it. So what I'm gonna do is when I finish this cleaning the stuff up on the floor, put the pallet down, build the second table, organize all the wood underneath that second table. I'm gonna move that pallet off of those filing cabinets, and then I'm going to build an actual table out of the pallet that I have that all my machine or all my wood shop tools are on anyways, and make it higher so they're not actually sitting on the filing cabinets themselves. Make it up higher, try my hardest, because like I said, being as those filing cabinets are full of my forging tools that weigh a million bajillion pounds, I don't really think I'm going to be able to move them, but I'm going to try my hardest to then try to move those two filing cabinets closer to each other. And then that will still free up a little bit of space underneath of that pallet table I will make. And then pretty much what it will be like is one big table that goes all the way across my entire garage. You'll have the table with the TV on it that I just showed you guys with the VCR and everything like that. You'll have the movies and the books there. To the right of that, you'll have the wood, and I'm going to put the woodworking tools on top of the wood storage table I'm going to build. And then to the far side of that is my forging tools. So that's where obviously forging tools will go. I'll put like any metalworking type of equipment will go. And then I'll also leave that table open. So in the off chance that eventually I have engines and stuff like that I need to work on in the future, I have an open table that I can work on stuff, and I don't have to worry about not having anywhere to work on it, or like placing it on the tiny little 1 foot section I have between the TV and the table that I currently have now. Still then have about, I'd say 8 feet to the edge of the garage to the left from the end of this table all the way to the end of the garage. And then, I don't really have plans for what I'm going to do with any of that stuff over there, that space that's over there, but at least all my tools will all be organized. Everything in this garage will be clean. It's already pretty much clean. If I show you behind me, it looks like there's still a bunch of shit everywhere, but realistically, it's all just big stuff that needs moved. There's a bunch of bags of trash, a bunch of bags of cans. There's that pallet right there is where I'm going to put the wood on. The tractor is directly behind me, so it takes up the most space of the garage. There's a bunch of old lawnmowers right. Oh wait, no, that's not it. They're over there. A bunch of old push mower lawnmowers over there. They're all blown up that we don't need anymore. So those will get trashed out of the garage. I will also be cleaning up my dad's area back over there, just organizing his stuff so that way it's not just thrown all about. And when I'm all said and done, besides having a motorcycle that's sitting there that hasn't moved in about 20 years and the tractor that will move at some point, but it has no front end at the moment, once that finishes being worked on, I can also park it probably over here where my little mini room is, and park it off to the side, get it out of the way. I will have a completely wide open garage for the first time in my entire life. Well, I can't really say that because it was pretty clean and open before I moved all my shit into here, but I have like a ton of room for activities. So much more room for activities. And yeah, it'll be cool. It's my game plan. It's my game plan. I've been running through my head for the last few days of what I want to do and how to do it and all that fun stuff. Sounds like my neighbor just got home. This big old loud stick shift truck is pretty noticeable. But besides that, I've had a very unexciting day today. Very uneventful, very unexciting day. I really wish I could get my goddamn stimulus money because could really do with some moolah. My mom and dad got theirs yesterday, so they didn't. They just filed their taxes like the same day that I did my taxes. They did theirs, so kind of would have hopingly thought that I would have gotten my stimulus money, but I didn't. So yep, still sitting at a whopping $6 in my bank account. Ain't got no money for nothing. So how's everybody's day been? Hello, Martin. Hello, Holly, and hello, Rachel. Obviously, I already said hello to Holly, but Your Google Assistant has found you dinner recipes. Well, being as I didn't ask my Google Assistant to find me dinner recipes, I don't really give a fuck. I'm in that boat, Rachel. That's all I've done all day today is clean out this garage. Well, organize the garage now that I've technically cleaned it out already. I'm not really throwing anything away. It's just now the fact of putting things where they need to actually be so they're not just thrown about the garage. Which is why I was talking so much just then about building tables and stuff like that, is because I need places to put shit. I got a lot of tools, a lot of woodworking tools, and just need somewhere to put them all. But, yeah. It also really sucks that I rebuilt my sub box and I went boom, bang, banging down or in my driveway for a small amount of time. And then my dad bitched at my mom about me having to get rid of my truck, even though I shouldn't have to get rid of my truck. And then so now I'm just waiting until he leaves town, because when he leaves town, then I'm going to go for a very long drive in my truck and boom, bang down the road, because obviously in my driveway, to not piss my parents off too much, I try not to blast my sub as loud as possible. But the amount that I had turned it up was loud as shit just from the stuff I did to it already. So now I'm really excited to actually go bumping down the road like really, really hard. I mean, it took it out the first night that I worked on it, but I did even more to it since then, and I just haven't done any work to it. Or I mean, I haven't actually listened to it since I've done the work to it again. So now she's running on even more power. Should hit notes that it never hit before. Come back to me. No, don't everybody leave. Stay with me. Stay. Come on. There it is. Yeah, stream came back. I was so mad. I was so mad. I have 1 bar of internet right now, and it just crashed the stream again. This is the 3rd time it's crashed while live streaming. The only difference is, compared to the other nights that it crashed and just never came back, this time it's crashing and coming back. Still pissing me the fuck off, but it's a lot harder to be mad at your internet when it comes back right away. So, race truck, maybe. But yeah, so I've already again explained earlier that I need a new laptop because my computer gets cold and then it stops, the Wi-Fi stops working, and it doesn't work how it's supposed to, and too old to update the internals on the inside, so it's just smarter and easier to get a new computer, and that way I can live stream wherever I take my, live stream wherever I take my laptop / be able to edit wherever I take my laptop, because this laptop you can't edit on. Excuse me, pardon my French. I want to read you guys something, and little off the point of what I've been talking about, but thanks, Martin. I also hope I get my stimulus money. So here's the thing. I know that no one judges me for this reason. Maybe you do and you just don't say it, which is fine either way. But it seems like the moment that you tell people that you don't believe in God, I wouldn't even label myself as an atheist because I don't really like that word. It sounds like you're saying like you're a mean, evil person. But like the moment you tell somebody that you don't believe in God, they automatically assume that you're just some evil, horrible piece of shit in this world. And it really makes me mad because I do my Extra Life charities every single year where I raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I go out of my way to make sure that my friends are I go out of my way to make sure my friends are, fucking, yeah, that I would, like, if they reached out and asked me for help, a hand doing something or whatever, I would obviously help them out. Um, I'm not a shitty person. Like, people assume you have to be a shitty person if you don't believe in God, because God's like this super awesome nice guy, and if you don't believe in him, then you somehow are some like horrible piece of shit. And I read this thing. This is from a church, okay? And so hearing this actually made me like whatever church posted this article. I commend them. I've never read a more true article from a church about somebody who doesn't believe in God. Okay? So I'm just going to read it to you because it is actually a really good article. It's very small. It's you can't really see it because my screen's so bright, but it only goes from there to there. So I mean, it's not too bad. But it said why it's called "Why Did God Create Atheists?" There is a famous story told in Chastithic literature, which I have no idea what that is, but I'm assuming it's some form of religious literature, like inside the Holy Bible or something like that, that addresses this very question. The master teaches the students that God created everything in this world to be appreciated, since everything is here to teach us a lesson. One clever student asks, what lesson can be learned from atheists? Why did God create them? The master responds, God created atheists to teach us the most important lesson of them all. The lesson is true compassion. You see, when an atheist performs an act of charity, visits someone sick, helps someone in need, and cares for the world, he is not doing so because of some religious teaching. He does not believe that God commended him to perform this act. In fact, he does not believe in God at all. So his acts are based on inner sense of mortality. Inner sense of mortality. And look at the kindness he can bestow upon others simply because he feels it to be the right thing to do. This means, the master continued, that when somebody reaches out to you for help, you should never say, I pray that God will help you. Instead, for a moment, you should become an atheist, imagine that there is no God who can help, and say, I will help you. And that right there was the most amazing thing I've ever read in my life, because it's so true. I do charity work. I help people out in this world. I do my best to make the world a better place. Best I can do to make this world a better place. Does that make me a shitty person? No. And is it weird to think that I can be like that and not believe in God? No, because I just believe in my moral sense of me tells me my inside morals tell me it's the right thing to do. I don't have to have a religion tell me you should help people because that's what God wants you to do. I do it because that's what I want to do. And after I read that, I was so impressed that a church would say something about something so amazing about people who don't believe in God, and to actually say that if somebody reaches out for you for help, you shouldn't approach them being like, I hope God looks upon you and helps you out. You should step up and say, I will help you because that's what I want to do. It had nothing to do with God. And I just thought that was amazing. I'm not trying to preach. I know everybody's got their own feelings about things. That's fine. I'm not, like I said, we had our crazy religious freak in the chat the other day, and I want to have that shit coming back again. But I just really thought that was amazing. That it just proves that just because you don't believe in God does not make you a bad person. You're just as good a person in this world as everybody else. Now, can you also say that some atheists ruin it for everybody else? Absolutely. Just because I don't believe in God and somebody else doesn't believe in God doesn't mean that there aren't people that run around this world and scream it to the top of their lungs, and they don't flick off churches and tell people that they're stupid for believing in what they believe in, because there are people out there like that. And I can understand why an atheist could get a bad name, but, not everybody's like that. So I read that article today and I was like, I gotta I read it to my parents, and now I'm reading it to you guys just because I'm like, it's very good. It's very good. I just feel like people need to understand that just because you don't believe in something that somebody else believes in doesn't mean that you're somehow shitty or that you're somehow a devil because you don't believe in something that you believe in, or I don't believe in what you believe in, you know? And that's why I don't even like the word atheist, because I don't like the thought that somebody has to label me into being like, oh, he doesn't believe in God, so he's an atheist. It's like, I'm just a person, man. I just want to be a person in life, okay? I'm sorry I don't believe in what you all believe in. I just want to be me. That's it. I don't want to believe that some other person out there is controlling my destiny. I'd like to think that I'm the person who's in control of my own destiny. But yeah, I mean, realistically, Martin, it's the same. I'm in that same boat. Whereas I was just having the conversation with my mom that I always lived my life with the dreams and admirations of being famous and making buku bucks that would allow me to not have to do anything with my life, and I could just, be rich and be happy. But realistically, I'm poor and I'm never going to be rich. I mean, that's just the facts of life, and I'm already used to living a poor lifestyle now already, so that the fact that I'll be poor probably the rest of my life really doesn't surprise me anymore. I'm used to living this way now, so I'm just be used to living this way the rest of my life. Um, so it sucks. I mean, I don't like it, but it's where I'm at in my life anyways, so I can't really change much about that at this point. Obviously, some people would argue that I could make a change and make better choices and blah, 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 but it ain't gonna happen, Captain. It ain't gonna happen, Captain. So when I came out here to stream, I actually had a headache. So I went inside my house and I took some ibuprofen, and I fell asleep on the floor because obviously my head was hurting. I just curled up on the floor of my living room and passed out on the carpet. And I woke up like 30 minutes or so later, and then decided like that was a good enough time that I should get up and move around again. And I realized that I only had about 20 minutes until 10 o'clock, which is obviously when I start streaming. So I was like, I should probably get up, get outside, try to warm my laptop up as much as possible, if possible. And when I came back into the garage, I literally had a heart attack. Like, obviously not a real heart attack, or I wouldn't be here live streaming right now. But I have never panicked as much as I panicked, as fast as I panicked when I got out here. So here's the story. I walked in my garage. I make noise when I walk in my garage. Normally, my dog is sleeping and she wakes up and she looks at me like, oh my God, you're here. Well, I walk in the door and she's like sprawled out in her cage. Her eyes are wide open, like she's awake. So I shut my quote unquote makeshift door, just try to cut some of the wind off from blowing in here. I shut my makeshift door. And when I turn around, she hasn't moved. She's still in the exact same position. Her eyes are still wide open. So I make a couple more steps into the garage about where I'm sitting now. And I lean over and I say, hey, puppy, what are you doing? And she makes no notice that I'm there. Her eyes are wide open and she hasn't blinked at all. And my heart starts pounding in my chest. And I say, puppy, and she doesn't move. And I start panicking and I'm like, did my dog die? Is she dead? Like, you know how like when things die, their eyes are open because like, you die with people in movies always made it. So like when people died, their eyes would naturally close, and that's not how life works. Your eyes stay open when you're dead, when you die. I mean, I'm sure that maybe some people out there when they die are like, and then they might close their eyes. But for the most part, if you're like shot, if you're awake and someone shoots you, your eyes stay open. It's not like they're just naturally going to shut on their own. They have no muscle control at that point. So she's just laying there, staring in my direction, eyes wide open, isn't blinking, isn't moving a muscle. And I physically ran over to her cage, screaming puppy because I thought my puppy was dead. And as soon as I got to her cage, she jumped up and was like, oh, excited to see me. And oh my God. And then I yelled at her because I was so mad, happy she wasn't dead, but so mad. She scared me so bad that she just lay. I can't even explain to you, like, just how emotionless she was. She wasn't even like breathing, like her body wasn't moving from breath. She was just still and her eyes were open. She wasn't blinking. She was there. And no matter what I said or what I moved, she wouldn't move. Scared the piss out of me. Thought my dog was dead. My heart raced because if I found my dog dead, which unfortunately one day I probably will either find her dead or she'll die of old age or of some other cause, and I'll be there when she does it. But either way, when it happens, I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to break down. Obviously, I will bawl my eyes out. She is my baby, and I can't even now try to imagine a world that she doesn't exist in. It also makes me think that when she passes on, I'll probably never get a dog again. I mean, I understand life can change and go on, and maybe one day I'd get another dog. But I mean, once she's gone, I don't want another dog because all I want's her. Um, but now she's half sleeping, but every time I look over there, she sits her head up like, I'm still here, and I'm just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, baby puppy. On top of that, speaking of baby puppy, April 31st is her birthday. My puppy was born on April 31st of 2018. So that means she's going to be a whopping 2 years old in about, what, 15 days? Yeah, 15 days from now. She's going to be 2 years old. God, time flies. I got her when she was only like 6 months old. And then she's been in my life now for a year and a half, and it seems crazy to think that time's flown by that much, to think that I've already had her for a year and a half. But I can't wait for her to be in my life for the next, I'm giving her 20 years. She better give me another 20 years or I'll be upset. Yeah, Martin, and that's why I was saying that, I'm sure that at some point in life things will change, but you can't tell me that right now that you can't think of your old dogs and it doesn't like make you really sad, because I'm sure that you think of your old dogs that you've had and it really upsets you because you grow so attached. It's like a human, it's like a breakup at this point. You spend 10, 15 years with this dog and then unfortunately they pass away, and once they pass away it's like breaking up, because then you're never going to see them again and that. But it puts this weird feeling in my throat right now, even just talking about my dog dying on me one day, because it's just not anything I want. I don't want to think about it. She's my baby girl, and I love her being here for me. Of all the people in this world, obviously I have a lot of people out there that love me and would help me and support me, but on my down days where I'm down in the dumps and I don't feel like talking and venting to somebody, my dog is always here for me. She's always going to love me no matter what. And she's a big pain in my ass, like every dog is. I mean, they can be, my dog is extremely well trained. She's a really good dog, but she still can be a pain in my ass. But I wouldn't trade her for the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell her all the time, it's me and her against the world, because that's what it is. And I know Rachel's still watching this, and I'm sure that Rachel's also thinking the same thing about Bubba, because Bubba is, I don't know how old Bubba is, but you guys have had Bubba for a while. And I know he's not old. Like, Bubba ain't like old. He's still a puppy in my eyes. He's maybe what? I don't even know. Rachel, you got to tell me how old Bubba is, because I really have no idea. I know you guys have had him at least 5 years, if not longer. I mean, it's definitely got to be longer than 5 years, but he's still a puppy. But obviously, he's also older enough. Yeah, see, 8 years old, but he's still a puppy at heart. Like I easily could see Bubba lasting for another fucking 10 years easily. You guys take amazingly good care of him. He's in great shape for being 8 years old. And God, from how he literally acts like he's fucking 2 years old still. I know, and that's what I was just saying. Like that, and I'm sure that's what you probably have those thoughts too, because he is getting older in age. And as much as you love him and I love him, I mean, shit, I remember when you guys when Mike brought him home from when he found him up there at work, and he was the cutest little puppy ever. I still find Bubba extremely adorable. But if you guys don't know, which I'm sure none of you do know, because I'm pretty sure we've never talked about this, Rachel has a pit bull that is the most adorable pit bull in the world. The nicest dog in the world, which also proves that everybody's always like, yeah, pit bulls are so scary and they're so mean. Bubba's the last dog in this world that I'd ever expect to hurt somebody. And, well, yeah, but I'm sure even if you didn't do that for a job, Rachel, you'd still take extremely good care of him. He he got extremely lucky. He stumbled into your guys' life, because I'm sure his life would have been much shorter if he would have stayed in Kenmore for the rest of his life. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's like, he really is not much bigger. My fat boy cat. That's cute. Bubba's so adorable. And that's like, even when I was over there the other day, when I come over to get that stuff from you, and he jumped up and he smacked me in the balls with his feet, because he likes to jump up sometimes. It's like, I still love him. I love that little baby puppy. Um, and breaking into your guys' house and like tried to harm you guys. That, oh, don't you do it, stream. Don't you do it. Came back. All right. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm sure that if somebody broke into your house and was trying to harm you, that Bubba would definitely fuck some shit up, because he is still a pit bull. But I also know that he's not the dog ever. He would never, ever. If you want, Rachel, you could send me a picture. I'd have to like turn the brightness down on my phone, but I'm pretty sure if my phone's not on super bright mode like it normally is, I am able to show stuff from my phone. Um, I'll just leave it on my main screen and see if it shows up. Yeah, see, you can't see my main screen of my phone if I turn the brightness all the way down. So if you want to send me a photo so I can show everybody a picture of your cute baby puppy, even though he's really not a baby, I can do that. Um, but yes, he is definitely the nicest, most gentle dog in this world, and so he is like the main key and point of proving to everybody that pit bulls are very misunderstood dogs. Everybody just assumes it's a pit bull. It's mean and vicious. It's meant to fight and kill, tear things apart, and he's not. He's not that way at all. Um, oh damn, that sucks, man. How long ago was the last dog you had? Like, I'm assuming that you moved and you had three dogs. So when was the last? When was the last one that died? Like, how long ago has it been since the last dog passed on? I was actually kind of worried when I first said about you. If you send me a picture, I was like, oh man, but that could be kind of bad, because then it's going to show. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Martin. That's fucking terribly sad. I mean, obviously, last May was a little while ago. It's been almost a year now. Wait, January, February, March, April. Yeah, yeah. So you're almost on a year, but I'm sure that still is a extremely sad moment. But then also I realized that because I have you in my phone as your name, it doesn't show your phone number, so you don't have to worry about Okay. We'll have to see what this looks like at first. But that's Rachel's pit bull. He's so adorable. Let me turn the brightness up just a little bit and see if you can maybe see him. And the only problem is he's there. It is. Yeah. No, turn back the other way. There it is. Yeah. Look at that cute baby puppy. And no, I'm not talking about you. She's sleeping, so she doesn't care. But super cute. Love him. Super cool dog. Was suggested that he probably got thrown out of a car because Kenmore, if you guys, I'm sure you don't know much about Kenmore, Ohio, is a very ghetto, bad place to be. A lot of people die, get shot, stabbed, robbed in this area. So I'm sure whoever owned him prior was probably not going to do anything good with him. And Mike was underneath of a truck working on it, and Bubba come walking up to him and scared the shit out of Mike because when he looked up, he just seen this face of a pit bull staring him in the face, and so he kind of freaked out. But when he got up, he realized it was just a little baby puppy, and I don't see Rachel. Honestly, I don't doubt that a bit. Fucking Kenmore is not a good place. It's. I wouldn't say that of all the places in Ohio that it's probably like the scariest, but you know, it's definitely not a place you'd want to live or even just be in. It kind of sucks that Mike works in Kenmore because of the fact that it's such a shitty place, but I'm sure that he's probably safer in the whole industrial district than if he was, in the ghetto hood of Kenmore. So definitely that dog lucked out 100% and stumbled onto the best family that he could have ever possibly stumbled onto. And the rest is history. He's been with you ever since. Yeah, Cincinnati is also bad. I will give you that. And honestly, Cincinnati is probably worse than Kenmore. I mean, Kenmore ain't great, but Cincinnati's definitely bigger. He was so small. God, I remember how small he was when you guys got him. And I also remember that he had such bad anxiety from you guys leaving that he tore Mike's truck apart on the inside every time you'd leave him in the truck and he didn't come with you. That he ate the steering wheel and the dashboard and everything. He has a fit of thinking you guys were abandoning him, which you weren't, obviously. There's so many noises outside. And then I also remember that you guys put them in your apartment you weren't supposed to have animals in, and then the people found out you had a dog. I don't remember how, if they saw you taking him out to go to the bathroom, or if it was they just heard him in your apartment. One way or the other, you ended up moving out of your apartment because you didn't want to get rid of your dog, and then you let that other girl, that I won't say her name just because I'm not going to try to name drop other people, you let that other girl and that guy stay at your apartment, and then Mike got horribly bad credit because nobody paid for the apartment after that. And then goes history from there. If that kid ever showed up in this town or state ever again, I would beat the living piss out of him. Not over the whole Mike Money situation, but mainly because I hated his fucking guts, and he drank all my beer all the time, and I really, really fucking hated that kid so much. Like, I would go to Mike and Rachel's apartment with a case of beer, and then we would drink the beer, but whatever was left, I'd leave in the fridge, because eventually the next weekend or the weekend after that or something, I would go back over to Mike and Rachel's and we'd drink and have fun again. Every time I would show up, the beer would be gone because this other douchebag would drink all my beer without asking. He would just assume it was okay. And I was like, yo. This dude is a dude. He should understand that you don't drink another man's beer without permission. That's like a big no-no. I'm not an alcoholic by any means, And I'm not really a big drinker by any means, but I know enough to know that if you drink another motherfucking guy's beer, you have crossed a fucking line. You don't do it. Quick way to piss a man off. And I was mad. You stole your heart just in one night. Well, I'm glad you guys ended up keeping him. I mean, the whole situation that happened with you guys moving out, and then them like fucking you over, and then all the other, all that other stuff is obviously not fucking cool. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm glad that you guys ended up inevitably keeping Bobo, because he's too amazing to have not think of all the memories that we have with him. And but yeah, but you're right, beer thieves suck. I mean, and here's also the other thing. If the kid had asked me, maybe I would have been okay with it, but he didn't even work. He was jobless, and so he wasn't making no money. So he would drink my beer, and then when I would show up, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can give you some money," but then never would, because he didn't have any money to give me. I can tell you guys a really, really shitty and funny story. Mike and I were drinking one night, and this kid had to go pick up his girlfriend from work. And she worked in Copley, which from where we were and where Copley is at least like 25 minutes. You probably get there in close and like that. But if you're not taking the highway, you're talking probably 25 minutes to get to Copley. And see, and here's the thing, Rachel. I don't even know if Mike's ever even told you this story. Not that like he would hide anything from it, but I don't know if Mike remembers this story. Me and Mike were drinking. We're playing video games, and I'm gonna name him Bob to not say his name, because I really hate that. Unfortunately, he had the same name as me. But anyways, well, kind of. Tyler, Matt, whatever. Anyways, so Bob comes out and he's like, "Oh, you guys are drinking? That's cool. I've got to go pick up my girlfriend." Mike and I convinced him into drinking with us, because he was very easily convincible to do things. We convince him into drinking with us, even though we know he's got to leave, because we're thinking the whole time, "Oh, this motherfucker is going to have to go drink and drive then, because he's got to go pick his girlfriend up." We got him super drunk. He left to go pick his girlfriend up, ended up crashing his car on the way there and fleeing the scene because he was drunk. I don't remember much of what actually happened after that. I know that he wrecked into a telephone pole or something like that. Like, he wrecked his car, fucked his car up real bad. And it literally all stemmed down to the point that if Mike and I would not have forced this kid to drink, he probably wouldn't have wrecked. But being as he was such a piece of shit and I hated him so much, it really didn't bother me at all to think that I pressured somebody into drinking and then they wrecked because of it. He was from out of state, so we were kind of hoping that he'd move back if he got in trouble. Man, things we do when we're younger, you know what I'm saying? The other thing is, Rachel, you realize that they should never have lived with you guys, and you guys should have just had me live with you then, because I was making enough. I mean, actually, I don't know. I was working at Fast Forming. I wasn't making a ton of money, but I probably still had enough money where I could have lived with you guys. And then you guys would have never had to have worried about the bullshit, the everything that they did to you and that he did to her and all that other stuff. The whole situation is shitty. I feel that, Martin. That's what I'm saying. I've never experienced that with somebody stealing my beer besides him. And that's the thing. I'm a very nice person. I'm understanding, and I can, you know, uh, I can be polite and super nice, and no one would ever assume me to be a mean person. But I mean, realistically, you push me hard enough, I will fucking snap. And I like to think that I snap in a way where it scares people because I am so nice that people don't expect you to be such a mean person. That when you snap and you are a mean person, people are like, "Oh shit." Yeah. Funny how time flies and all the different things that happen in life. I blew up my first Taurus on the way to your guys' house, that apartment you lived in. I was driving to your guys' house and my transmission went out, and I was already halfway to your house, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm just driving there anyways." And so I drove to your house without first and third gear, which was really difficult because I had to go from second to fourth, and my car was not happy about it. But I made it. And then my dad was really mad at me that I made it there. And he's like, "If you made it there, you could have made it home." And I was like, "Nah, it's fine." But I kind of like that, Martin. I kind of like that fact that people people see you as such a nice person that they kind of eventually, I don't want to say use you, but they kind of think like, "Oh, well, he won't get mad. He's too nice of a person." And then when you finally snap, you scare them because they're like, "Oh shit, he can get mad." And it's like, yeah, when I get mad, I get fucking serious. I remember this is about a year ago actually. Um, uh, I I don't remember exactly what happened to led to what happened, but some girl was of some other people I know. Some girl was standing in the kitchen and she was eating something and she said she didn't want to get fat, and we were making fun of her that she thought she would get fat over eating a lot or something like that, and she started crying. I'm not really sure why. And so she went out onto her front porch and she was crying, and her sister found out she was crying, and so she came in and started screaming at us and physically told me she was going to burn my house down if I did it again. And I snapped and I stood up and I said, "Bitch, say that one more time. I will go get a gun. I'll come back and murder you and your entire family." And you should have seen her face. It went from like real angry because she's like, "I'm going to burn your fucking house down," to, "Whoa." You went from a semi extreme to a full extreme. Now, obviously, would I have really went to her house and killed her and her family? No. It was just the fact of, like I said, she was threatening me, and I don't appreciate people who are mean to me. And sometimes I snap and I say mean things back. And so my mean thing back was telling her I would murder her and her entire family. And at that point, she left me alone because she realized she should not fuck with me. Yes. Don't tell me you're going to burn my house down. That's a big threat. If you're going to make a big threat to me, I'll make a big threat to you that's 10 times worse than your threat. Like I said, I would never do that. That's not my character. I would never do that to somebody or to a family. That'd be horrible. But I'm also not going to let you threaten me and not threaten you back. Like, that's not how life works. I might be a good person, but I can say mean things just like anybody else in this world. Um, and then funny, I had a whole big problem with the rest of that family, anyways. When I posted a picture of the dad on Facebook, and then the son got in my face and threatened to beat the shit out of me if I didn't delete the photo. And I reached in my pocket and grabbed a knife, and the dad had to step up and separate us, and was like, because he knew that I was not gonna let something like that go, and he was like, "Matt, let it go, please, just let it go," because he realized that I was ready to defend myself in any way means necessary. And because of that, now, well, that and some other reasons, I no longer talk to that family anymore because they're full of drama, and I hate all of them. And then that kid that threatened me ended up spending 2 years in jail. Just got out recently, which is funny, but so it even goes to show you how much a piece of shit he actually is. And he swears after this being his third or fourth stint in jail, he swears he's going to be a good kid and he's going to turn his life around and blah, blah, blah. I don't see it happening. If you've gone to jail like 4 or 5 times and every time you get out, you say you're going to make your life better and then you don't, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail, buddy. I'm sorry. That's how life works. You're never going to change. Just a bunch of poor people from a poor town that think they're ghetto. And I'm not ghetto at all, but I don't like people getting in my shit for no reason. Especially for a picture on Facebook. Like, what the fuck? He gets so mad, bent out of shape, that I posted a picture of his dad on Facebook. It's like, what the fuck, dude? I remember the first time I cried like a baby for no reason. I was 2. No, I was probably younger than that, but you know what I mean. I got some ghetto in me, you know. I like the Flash Gang songs and stuff. I tote guns and stuff like that. I really don't, but you know, I like to make people think that's what I do because, you know, I'm straight white ghetto trash from Wadsworth. It's like World Star, but it's called Wadsworth. You see, Ben? Hey, baby. I love you. I love you, baby Bobby. I totally show you guys my dog again, but here's the thing. We're at 1 hour and 9 minutes, okay? And last night, the stream lasted for 1 hour and 4 minutes. So we're currently 5 minutes longer than we were last night. I'm afraid to take the computer off of my lap because the moment that I move the computer, it's going to crash. So I can't get up and open the cage to let her out. And I can't take the computer over to her cage because, like I said, it will crash the stream. I'm sorry. I have really bad acid reflux tonight. Something horrible that I have to deal with every fucking day usually. But tonight it's been really bad. I'm not really sure what I ate for dinner that would have caused much acid reflux, but it's coming up and it's bubbling. Yeah, I'll be honest, Martin. I know a lot of people that are like that. I know a lot of people who got their license taken away due to DUIs and still drove anyways. Like, they just didn't care, which blows my mind because I'm one of those people who I tried my hardest not to break any laws and to do as much as not breaking the law as possible because I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, a lot of my friends, especially in high school, would get in trouble and have their licenses taken, and they would still drive anyways, and that blew my mind. Though okay with it, like they never were like, "Oh man, we got to be careful because I don't have my license." They just drove like a normal person. I was just like, that's so crazy. So crazy. The one and only time I've had my license taken away from me, I only drove to work, and that was it. I didn't drive anywhere else. If I had to go get cigarettes, I walked to get cigarettes because I knew I couldn't drive. So it really blows my mind when people like you and people like my old friends in high school would do that shit because it was just like, right, well, yeah, you've never had one, so you never had them taken away. That obviously makes complete and total sense. But I got my license taken away in 2016, and Rachel knows the whole reason behind that. Stupid Woodsfield police suck major fucking donkey dick. Actually, on top of that, it wasn't even Woodsfield. It was a fucking state patrol officer. So state patrol officers suck dick. But it happened in Woodsfield, Ohio, which is 2 hours south of here. They're assholes. I really don't like them. Really don't like them. Every time we drive through Woodsfield, I'm instantly like, fucking hate this town because they fucking assholes, man. Oh, I still love it too because Mike had like nothing to do with it. He got pulled over. I don't even remember now why we got pulled over originally. But the moment that he got pulled over, it became all attention on that. And then next thing you know, Matt's being handcuffed, put in the back of the police car because he's getting mouthy with the police officer. Yep. And that was just a bad night. It was a bad fucking night. It was probably one of the worst times I ever felt like going down south because we went down, we spent the night then, and the next morning we woke up. I said, "I'm sorry, Mike, but can you just take me home because I don't even want to fucking be here." I was in such a bad fucking mood. And then I had to come home and explain to my parents what happened. That fucking sucked. Now, fortunately, my dad was out of town at the moment. I think he was actually hunting. My mom had left to go to the bank, and I remember I sat on our front porch and I waited for her to get home. And she got out of the car. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Mom, I gotta tell you something." She was like, "What?" And I was like, I got arrested the other night, and I got to go to court, and it's 2 hours away from here, and yeah, it sucked. It really sucked. I really hate Woodsfield. If you've ever in Ohio, any of you who aren't from Ohio, or even like Holly, you're from Ohio, but you're from way up north. If you're ever going south, and you're about to drive through a town that's called Woodsfield, just do as much as you can to just the detour around it. It is such a shitty town. It sucks. They all suck. I used to actually quite like Woodsfield before all this bullshit happened, but I really hate them now. The only thing I liked about them is they only charged me $100, and because the fucking stupid state patrol officer wrote down that I was driving when Mike clearly was driving the fucking car, also helped me get out of the what do they call that? It's not unruly. It's I don't know. Does anybody else out there know what I'm talking about? It's like if you're mean to a cop and you say mean things to a cop and stuff, they have a specific that I was. It's kind of like that wasn't what they were calling it. And I was the one driving the car when I wasn't. And so since he falsified the police report, they had to drop those charges and only got charged with. Really appreciate it if we didn't have to stop the stream right now. Can you reconnect? Thank you. You reconnected. My stream slightly crashed, so I apologize if anybody out there is buffering for a short minute, but you'll be back. The stream came back. Oh God, what's it called? It's gonna eat me alive. I can't think of it. If I could, I literally had just found the ticket in my house not too long ago. It has it all written down. So I mean, I realistically find the ticket and tell you guys exactly what it was I got arrested for. But what was that? Damn, what do they call it? Yeah, well, I guess I guess we'll never know because I can't think of it off the top of my head. And I'm gonna actually Google it. Uh, They really don't have an answer for me, so I don't know. But like I said, I can't think of the damn name or what they call it. Da, 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 da. Yeah, this is definitely not helping me figure out what I was trying to figure out. Change up my terminology. Maybe that it took me so long. That's what they tried to get me for. Disorderly conduct. Because I was being mean to the police officer. Yeah, okay, Martin was a little bit behind, but he got it like the same time that I did. Yes, I got disorderly conduct. That's exactly what I got. I could not for the life of me think of that word. Or I guess it's technically 2 words, but I also got other charges besides disorderly conduct, but that was the one I was most scared of. And then I got possession and paraphernalia along with that. So they dropped the disorderly conduct due to the fact that the police officer wrote in the police report that I was driving when I, in fact, was not driving. And secondly, then they dropped the possession charge and gave me paraphernalia because it's the most expensive charge. I had to pay $100 and lose my license for 6 months. So it went from, it could have been very bad to, it wasn't too bad, but I still fucking hate that town because that bullshit should never have even happened to begin with. Thinking they're so cool, and they're not cool. They're here to serve and protect, not to fucking pick on me just because I got some motherfucking weed in my pocket. And then the cop gets into the car after I'm already in the back seat of the car. He gets into the car and it's like, you didn't even have that much weed on you. Why did you have to be so mean? And I was like, what do you think I was so mean for? Wait, what are you asking, Rachel? Is that the same too? Wait, yeah, I'm confused at what you're asking her. But yeah, so I just kind of snapped at the cop and was like, yes, that's the exact same time that cop read, it wasn't even the serial number. He read the model number over the police radio. God, that honestly, the best part of that night was being stoned as shit, sitting in the back seat of that police car and hearing everything that they were talking about over the radio. They find Mike's shotgun. It's an old shotgun. It doesn't even have a serial number on it because it's that old. It was taken apart. It was in it was in like 3 pieces. And the fucking cop read the model number over the it's okay, Rachel. I understand on a phone it's probably more difficult because everything's smaller and stuff. But yeah, it was the same night. He read the fucking model number to the dispatcher, and the dispatcher's like, "That's the model number." And he's like, "Oh, well, that's the only number on it." And she's like, "Can't help you." Like, what else am I gonna do? You can't look up a serial number on a gun who doesn't have a serial number. Yeah, he was young, Martin. He was a real young cop. You could tell he was probably first year on the force. So of course he thought he was Mr. Hot Shot, getting me, arrested for having some marijuana on me and me being, having disorderly conduct against him and blah blah blah. It was horseshit. I was so mad. I had a moment, a very small moment, okay, where when they pulled me over, he had no idea. He had no idea who I was. Now, obviously, Mike knew who I was, and I had this feeling that even if I did what I was thinking of, that Mike, not to say it in a mean way, that Mike probably would have ratted me out. But they had no idea who I was. They hadn't even seen my face. They asked us to get out of the car. When I stepped out of the car, I made sure to keep facing forward so that way the camera on the front of the cop car couldn't see my face. And literally, for 30 seconds while the cop was talking to Mike, I instantly thought, I could start running right now and that cop would never notice. I'd run into the woods in Woodsfield, and he'd never find me. He would never find me. I'd be gone. And but then, like I said, unfortunately, at that point, then the cop would have been all over Mike, like, who was that? And then eventually, I'm sure Mike would have told him who I was, and that would have fucked me a little worse because then I would have gotten fleeing from police. And it really wasn't that big of a deal to have to run from the cops from in the first place. But yeah, I did think about it, like, legitimately, because he, like, is over on the side talking to Mike about whether he can search the car or not. The cops got his back to me. I could have just turned and ran, and I swear to you, it would have taken him probably 30 seconds to turn around and been like, oh shit, he's running, or shit, he's gone, and he would never have found me. I would have been gone. Problem is I'm not really sure if I would have known where I was, and then having to try to explain to Mike where I was enough to have him try to find me afterwards would have been damn near impossible. But it's better not to run from police. Obviously, I'm not a bad person. I don't like to think that I would have ran, but I did think about it for a good hot minute of being like, I could do this. I could do it, and I could get away. Oh, shit. Well, fortunately for us, Martin, the place where I was is in the middle of nowhere. Like, literally, the middle of nowhere. The road that we were on is the main road, and unless you go into town and then it branches off to like a square, you know, like where there's a like a four-way, and then you could go in different directions. Besides that, it was just rural farms and fields and woods. And if I could have trusted that Mike wouldn't have ratted me out for running and telling the cops who I was, I easily could have gotten away and never seen another person for hours. But like I said, I realized that the cops would be all over Mike's ass about who I was, and would Mike tell them who I was? I felt like he probably would, because it was one of those things where the cop pulls us over and he's like, can I search the car? And Mike's like, sure. Because, of course, Mike's got nothing to hide, so why would he care? And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, you can refuse to search the car and the cop can't do fucking shit about it. The cop had no reason to search our car. He just simply asked, like, do you mind if I search the car? And Mike's like, sure. And I was like, well, he just threw me under a bus because obviously I've got things with me that I don't want to be found. And, but I'm not blaming Mike. I understand that, like I said, in his mind process, he was like, I don't got nothing on me. I got nothing to hide. Why do I care if you search my car? But obviously I did have things, and I don't know if he quite realized that if two people have to step out of a car, a police officer has to pat you down to make sure you don't have weapons. And when the cop comes to pat me down and I refuse to get patted down, that shows super red flags that this guy probably has something he doesn't want you to find. Yes, he really should have, Rachel. I don't get on Mike's ass about it because it's not his fault that I got in trouble, but realistically, he should have refused the search. The cop literally had zero. It's not like the cop was like, I smell marijuana. Can I search the car? He just simply was like, can I search the car? And Mike's like, sure. And I was like, why did you just do that? Why did you just throw me under a bus? Ah! And then the night consisted from there. Now it's just a great story, so it don't really bother me anymore. You know, yes, Martin, you are very lucky. I've technically been arrested multiple times. Most of them were before I was of the age of 18. But I also just hope, Rachel, that maybe Mike has learned from this experience enough where if we ever had it happen again, Mike would say no to letting a cop search a car. Because even if, like, now that I don't smoke, or at least I don't smoke, like, you know, like sometimes if I'm like at somebody's house and they offer it to me, I might hit it, but I don't smoke all the time like I used to. So I wouldn't probably have it on me. But still, even at that point, even not having stuff on me, if a cop asks to search me, I'm still going to say no because I know my rights. I know that unless you have reason to search me, search me. You know, if he's like, hey, you know, I've been Kit Mike on this fucking track because he needs to understand that even himself that he doesn't have to be searched if he doesn't do anything wrong. If you don't, this goes for anybody who's watching this video. If you have done nothing wrong and a police officer asks to search you or your vehicle, you have the right to know, and they cannot do anything about it. It's the law. He is just asking because he understands that some people out there get scared and say yes because they think they have to do it. But you don't have to do it. The only reason a cop has the right to search your car is if he has probable cause, in the sense of drugs, or he's has some proof that he saw a gun, or some bullshit, whatever. But it's stupid. A lot of people don't realize the laws and how laws work, and that's why I've always refused to be searched. Even if I don't have anything on me, I still say no if a cop asks to be searched, because it's like, you have no right to search me. No right. Damn police officers. Damn police officers always thinking that they got the upper hand on us civilians. We'll break Mike of that. We'll make him understand that he don't need to be doing that shit, because it's unlawful. They understand that most people are afraid and don't understand the law, and so they use that to their advantage, and they ask people to search their vehicles or search their persons, and people just freak and say yes, and they pretty much give themselves up to an illegal search and seizure. I smell weed when they clearly don't. They refuse a search, so then they get a police dog. The police dog scratches at the door, indicating that there's drugs in the car, and then the cop searches the car and never finds anything. Isn't that weird? Maybe it's because there was never anything in the car. A drug dog can't truly smell drugs, and it's just trained to scratch a door, so that way, they have the right to search. Oh, well, the dog scratched, so obviously you have something in the car. And these are people that don't do drugs, and they're like, okay, search the car. And then the cop searches the car, and they're like, oh, we didn't find anything. And it's like, that's funny how that worked, isn't it? I don't do drugs. Your dog scratched my car for no fucking reason. And then now you're surprised that you didn't find anything. And it's like, right there, it's even further proof that cops are very shady, and they just do whatever they think they can, because they know that most people in this world don't understand how the law is set up, of like what you can and can't do, how you can turn down being searched, and that's not breaking the law. You're not being an unruly citizen by saying no to a search. You're just acting on your rights, I could use some weed right now. I totally agree with you. I was telling Rachel, I think it was this morning, that I had a dream last night that I was super stoned, and I woke up this morning, obviously not stoned, obviously don't have any weed, and I was just depressed because I was like, man, that was such a good dream. It was such a good dream. I was so stoned. It's been so long now since I smoked. It's been a month, I think, around about a month. Yeah. Like I said, nowadays I just go without it. I don't got no money, and I'm not really trying to get back into my full-time potheadedness that I was. So I just try to do a little bit here and a little bit there if I can. But if I can't, then so be it. I'm fine. I'm happy with being sober in my life. I mean, I am happy with being stoned in my life, but I'm also happy with being sober. So it's no big deal to not be high and not smoking weed. I just totally wish I did. I really mainly wish that I could get some weed for 420, which is coming up. And if I can't get any weed before this Monday, which I'm sure I won't, it will be the second time that I've had to celebrate 420 sober, and it's very sad to me. Damn, that's good, Martin. Before this, month or so ago, that I kind of went back to smoking a little bit again. I went 8 months without smoking. I mean, it's like I said, it don't bother me now. I can go long periods of time without it. It's whatever. It's just I try, at that point, I was out of money. I needed I was trying to look for a good job, so I wanted to clean up so I could, get myself a job. And um, um, if which I don't really want to spend my stimulus money on it, but if I can somehow get my stimulus money before Monday, I might reach out to somebody and say, "You think you could hook a brother up with just a little bit, so I can enjoy, the National Pothead Holiday of 420." It's a stupid holiday. Realistically, it's not real. I don't really know why potheads celebrate 420, but it's just a thing. It's just once you become a pothead and 420 comes around, it's just a day to get super stoned and have a great old day. And so, like I said, if I yeah, I like that. I like that, Martin. Money for 420. That's really good. God, that's the other thing I like. I kind of like my stoner laugh, and then once I stopped smoking, I was like, I'm never gonna have my stoner laugh back. But now I still have my stoner laugh. I'm just not a stoner. I kind of like that. But yeah, I just stoner laughed over your money for 420. That's funny. That's really funny. I need that money for that 420. I should make a rap song about that money for 420. For 420. I also saw a meme on Facebook that was pretty funny that was like, now listen, people, just because the government's giving you money doesn't mean you can go spend it all on drugs. And then somebody commented under that and was like, but drugs make me stimulus or something like that. It was funny. I can't remember exactly how they worded it, but it was to the point where it worked out. It was like, but drugs stimulate me or something, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious because that's the truth. I guarantee that more of the stimulus money gets spent on drugs, what the government really wants it to be spent for. Uh, that's the only thing too, is I don't even know if I hit up said dude who would normally supply me with said things, if he even would still supply me with said things. I mean, I'm sure he would. He's a businessman. He's here to make money. But I'm just thinking, with the sickness going around, would he still willingly meet up to hook a brother up, or is he scared of the sickness where he won't leave his house? I don't know. I had one eye closed because I almost got smoke eye. I'm really glad I didn't, because I think that's probably the worst thing from smoking cigarettes is when you get smoke in your eye. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. Makes you fucking cry. Burns really bad. Doesn't matter. I've been smoking cigarettes for 15 years of my life. It's from day one to day today. Smoke gets in the eye, it fucking hurts. It makes you cry in that one eye because it just burns really bad. Smoke is not meant for eyes. It's like being at a campfire and having the fire blow smoke in your eye, and it's like, oh, that hurts, but it's a cigarette, so it hurts even more. Why are you afraid, Martin? I wouldn't ask maybe if he's a dealer, but I would ask your neighbor just do you, obviously, Rachel, we are not going to say his name because of obvious reasons, but do you still talk to him? Like, I haven't heard you talk about him recently, so I don't know if you guys still talk, um, but if he would still need that money, and your boy might get that stimulus money and might hit a brother up, because I could definitely do with some enjoyment in this trying time of sitting on my ass all day. But yeah, Martin, I would probably not go in saying, "Are you a drug dealer?" But it ain't nothing nowadays. I ask people all the time. if they smoke weed, especially because it's not like if you're asking somebody a life or death situation. I mean, obviously they can lie and say no, even if they do. But if you're cool enough with your neighbor where you think it's cool enough, you can just be like, "Hey, man, do you smoke? Do you smoke weed or whatever?" And if he says yeah, then you could probably be like, "Can you help me get some?" And then he might then be like, "Oh, well, it just happens to work out that I sell it." And then boom, right there, you got yourself hooked up. But I probably wouldn't just go to your neighbor and be like, "Bro, do you sell weed?" Because that would probably be a little bit like, "Are you a cop?" You're asking weird questions here. Yeah, it don't bother me at all in the slightest to ask somebody if they smoke weed. Usually, if you have the feeling, yeah, I would say something, Martin, because I was literally just gonna say. Usually, if you have the feeling that you think somebody is smokes weed, they 9 times out of 10 they do. You know, like I've never had that feeling where I was like, oh man, this person's a pothead, and then found out they weren't. Like 9 times out of 10, they are. Um, but but yeah, I mean, like I said, even if you ask and he doesn't, I mean, it's not like you're not asking him some mean, fucked up question. You're just trying. Yeah, I used to. I thought maybe that you might have as well at one point or something. You could always just throw something in there just to make it seem like you weren't trying to figure out if he sells weed. But if he seems like a cool dude and you guys get along on good terms, I don't see why it would be a problem to just simply ask him, "Hey, you smoke weed?" And if he says yeah, then just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to. I didn't know if maybe you could help a brother out." That then you might get looked out, and you might be like, "Yeah, ironically, I sell it." And you're also have a neighbor who sells weed, but he doesn't sell weed to me, so that's a little depressing. That's also because drama separated us from being friends anymore. So, oh well, friends until he wants to be friends, and then he can text me and we can be cool. But the moment I text him, we're no longer cool. Yeah. Oh, stream crashed again. Is it gonna come back? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Hey, the stream came back. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh my god, guys. Yes, I will agree, Rachel. Is a douchebag. Fucking a funny inside joke between me and Rachel because my neighbor called me a douchebag. Um, when this whole drama went down, that we stopped being friends, but the way he said it, it was just I made fun of him for calling me a douchebag because I was like, who the fuck calls people a douchebag? Like, and that I'm supposed to feel upset or sad that somebody called me a douchebag is like, what the fuck, dude? You fucking douchebag. You're a fucking douchebag. So that's why me and Rachel now constantly say douchebag. You're a fucking douchebag. I do feel bad for him, to be honest. He just lost his stepdad to cancer about a month ago. His brother just got into a motorcycle accident about 2 weeks ago, broke his leg real bad. So I definitely feel bad for him. I mean, he's had some rough shit go on, but what can I do? It's not really my place to feel guilty for his life. I was just also going to say, literally right before my stream crashed and then came back, that I've been streaming for an hour and 43 minutes, and we've been continuously streaming, and it's been perfectly fine, besides a sudden crash or two from time to time. But it comes back, and I don't have to like physically exit the stream. But also then realized while looking at the time that it is also 12:04 in the morning. So it's late. And we still streaming. So I like this. I like the late night streams. Well, more like you mean that he pays Mike money for working on his stuff, because I'm not really sure how much he's actually truly helped you guys, because I can't really think of anything where. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's done stuff that you guys haven't told me he's done, but I don't really think that he actually helps you. I think realistically how it goes is he needs help with his stuff, and Mike works on it and then pays you guys for it, which is nice. I would like if me and him could go back to more of a friendship basis. Well, uh-oh. Is that? Oh, it came back again. Apparently my stream keeps going in and out. Wait, unable to connect to chat. What you trying to talk about, Wills? Pop out chat. I can't see chat anymore. Is everything still working for you guys? I guess I'm gonna have to pull my phone out now and see it rather than later, because it's probably just gonna continuously keep doing this over and over again. But it says it's still streaming. It says there are still people watching. It doesn't say the stream's crashed, but it says unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. And it's like, well, then how am I supposed to talk to anybody if I can't connect to the chat? That doesn't help me out very much. So I guess I gotta pull the stream up on my phone. Yep, still working, but grr. So yeah, so I guess from this point on, if you guys want to talk to me in chat, I'm going to have to use my. Now it's buffering. Oh, it crashed again. Connect? Can you do it? Because it's fucked up. Oh, it came back. Oh. Well, guys, I guess it's probably just a good time to say good night, everybody. That's probably just going to continuously keep crashing. And since it's already bullshit to think that I can't fucking talk to you guys in the chat anymore because the chat doesn't work anymore, and I can read Martin's comment that says it's fucked up, that's fucking up on my phone, it's probably better to just end it here. So, good night. Rachel, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And obviously, Martin, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow if you're here for the stream. I'll talk to Rachel outside the stream tomorrow. And yep. Hope everybody enjoyed the almost 2 hours that we got out of this stream tonight. I'm actually quite impressed and happy that my computer lasted as long as it did, even though it has had a few fuck ups along the way. And yeah, so that's cool. But also, if I'm sure he would also be very happy to mow your mom's yard if you guys are paying him as well, unless he's just doing it out of kindness of his heart. That'd be cool. But he is also kind of hurting on money as well because of this whole bullshit going on. So it would be nice for him to probably make some extra money doing some mowing. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and it's Friday, so everybody try to enjoy your Friday to the fullest of your ability. Martin, make sure you talk to your neighbor. Figure out the gist of if you can get your stuff from him or not. And until the next time, everybody take it easy. I love you, and yep. Goodbye.